Hello friends, today we will discuss about a renowned novel Untouchable. Untouchable is a wonderful creation by Mulk Raj Anand, which is published in 1935. This is a powerful novel that sheds light on a dark chapter of Indian history and advocates for social justice and equality. It is Anand's first major novel. It was inspired by his own experiences as an untouchable. Through this novel, Mulk Raj Anand explores the themes of caste discrimination, social inequality, and the struggle for dignity and justice. Characters: Baka, main leading character; Laka, Baka's father; Raka, Baka's younger brother; Sahini, Baka's younger sister; Havildar Charat Singh, a famous hockey player; Pundit Kali Nath, a priest; Colonel Hutchinson, Christian missionary; Mary Hutchinson, Colonel's wife; Pathan, belongs to What does the title untouchable means? Untouchables are the lowest caste, and they are considered to be impure and polluting. They are subjected to discrimination and abuse from members of the upper castes. They have been subjected to subhuman status. Even animals have a better status than untouchables because they can move freely in their environment without polluting it. Untouchables are forbidden to access water from the well due to the strict social segregation and discrimination based on caste system in the society depicted in Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand. Caste system and untouchability. The novel is situated in a society which deeply entrenched in the caste system, where people were rigidly divided into social hierarchies based on their birth. Baka is the leading character in the novel, who belongs to a underprivileged class, the Dalit community, which is considered the lowest and most oppressed caste in the traditional Hindu caste system. Because of his identity as an untouchable, he is not allowed to touch or interact with people of higher castes. He works as a sweeper, cleans human waste and other forms of filth from public spaces. His job reflects the dehumanizing nature of the caste system. In the beginning of the novel, Baka accidentally brushes against a high caste priest in the street. In response, the priest spits on Baka because the priest believes that he became impure by Baka's touch. This incident illustrates the deep-seated caste-based discrimination in society. Baka have few options or opportunities for improving their lives and are trapped in a cycle of poverty and discrimination. Baka and his family often struggle to access basic necessities like food, clean water, and shelter due to their marginalized status. Another major theme is Gandhism. The novel Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand is heavily influenced by Gandhism, the political and social philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi was a major figure in the Indian independence movement, and he also campaigned against the caste system and untouchability. Gandhi believed that untouchables were not untouchable at all, but were simply people who had been denied their rightful place in society. The novel's protagonist, Baka, is a young man who is trying to find his place in the world. He is inspired by Gandhi's ideas of non-violence and social justice, and he dreams of a day when untouchables will be treated with dignity and respect. Marxism. The novel Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand is also influenced by Marxism, the political and economic philosophy of Karl Marx. Marxism is a socio-political and economic theory that critiques capitalism, emphasizes class struggle, and advocates for a classless society, achieved through a working-class revolution. Marx believed that society is divided into two main classes: the bourgeoisie, the owners of the means of production, and the proletariat, the workers who do not own the means of production. He argued that the proletariat is exploited by the bourgeoisie, and that this exploitation leads to class conflict. In Untouchable, the untouchables are analogous to the proletariat in Marx's theory. They are exploited by the upper castes, who own the land and the means of production. This exploitation leads to the untouchables' poverty and squalor. The novel also shows how the untouchables are denied access to education and other opportunities. This is a form of cultural hegemony, in which the dominant class imposes its own values and beliefs on the subordinate class. The novel ends with Baka dreaming of a day when the untouchables will be free from exploitation and discrimination. This dream is a reflection of the Marxist belief in a classless society. Internal conflict. Baka has an encounter with a sweeper woman from a different community who is also considered untouchable. Despite they shared same social status, she scolds and berates by throwing food instead of giving it on Baka's hand. This interaction highlights the internal divisions and hierarchies within the untouchable community itself. Injustice and inequality. Baka is falsely accused of a crime which he did not commit. When he seeks help from the police, they are indifferent to his plight and readily believe the false accusations due to his untouchable status. This encounter highlights the systemic injustices faced by untouchables when seeking justice within the caste-based society. Colonialism. The novel is set during a time when India was under British colonial rule, Known as the British Raj, British colonialism had a complex relationship with the existing caste system in India. While the British officially abolished some discriminatory practices, they also relied on the caste system to maintain control. The Hindu Zamindars are also complicit in the oppression of the untouchables. They are wealthy and powerful, use their power to exploit the untouchables, forcing them to work long hours for low wages. In the novel, Baka's father is forced to work for the Zamindar for little pay. He is also denied access to the village well, which is reserved for the upper castes. Both the English colonial rulers and the Hindu Zamindars were part of an economic system that exploited the labor and resources of the Indian population. Social protest. The early 20th century was a period of significant social reform movements in India. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi and B.R. Ambedkar were advocating for the rights and dignity of the untouchables and working toward the eradication of untouchability. These reform movements aimed at challenging the deeply entrenched social norms and practices that perpetuated discrimination. Baka dreams of a better future and hopes to escape the oppressive confines of his social status. His character represents the aspirations of the Dalit community to break free from the chains of oppression. Throughout the novel, Baka refuses to accept his lowly position in the caste hierarchy. He yearns for dignity and equality, even though society constantly reminds him of his supposed impurity. One bold act of protest, Baka tries to enter the temple, which is strictly forbidden for untouchables. This symbolic gesture represents his defiance of the discriminatory religious practices that exclude untouchables from sacred places. Baka's protests against injustice are characterized by his growing awareness, his willingness to challenge societal norms, and his desire to break free from the oppressive constraints of the caste system. His journey in the novel is a poignant quest for education. Baka is determined to receive an education, even though it is denied to untouchables. He believes that education is the key to breaking free from the confines of his caste and achieving a better life. He sneaks into the local school, trying to learn to read and write, despite facing opposition and ridicule from higher caste students and teachers. Reaction to the insult from a high caste man. One of the pivotal moments in the novel is when Baka is insulted and slapped by a high caste man, the Pathan. Baka's response to this insult is a powerful expression of his protest attitude. He initially feels humiliated, but then decides to confront the Pathan, expressing his anger and frustration. This incident is a turning point in the novel and demonstrates Baka's growing defiance against the oppressive caste system. Social isolation. Baka experiences social isolation because of his untouchable status. He is not allowed to enter certain areas or participate in activities that people from higher castes can freely enjoy. Hypocrisy and religion. Pandit Kalanath is the evil character in the story who represents the hypocrisy within the Hindu caste system and practices discrimination against untouchables like Baka. Despite his religious authority, he fails to uphold the fundamental Hindu tenet of treating all beings as divine. Even he tries to rape Baka's sister Sahini. Christian teachings versus colonial motives. Colonel Hutchinson is a Christian missionary who preaches Christian ideals of love, equality, and the brotherhood of humanity. However, his role as a colonial officer also serves imperialistic and political interests. He tries to convert Baka's religion from Hindu to Christian by assuring him that Christian religion is better than Hindu. His main motive is to increase the number of Christian people to empower British imperialism. He symbolizes one facet of England's colonization of India. In summary, Untouchable by Mulk Raj Anand is a novel that provides a snapshot of the life of an untouchable protagonist and his experiences in a society marked by discrimination, social injustice, and the complexities of British colonial rule. The novel is a powerful critique of these social injustices and a call for social reform and change. Thanks for watching. If you found my video informative, then like, comment and share. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.